Hello! First, a small disclaimer. I understand this isn't the type of content most of my recurring audience expects. The thing is, this channel is a random mess of flying, travelling, reviews and music, and I understand that. If I had a separate channel for each type of content I make, that would lead nowhere. Thanks for understanding. Hello and welcome to my first musical instrument review video. Now I do plan on making more of these videos in the future. Not very soon, probably in the next few months, but I do not promise anything because, well, in the past I might have promised certain videos which then didn't come out, or at least didn't come for a very long time. Yeah, anyway, let's get to the topic. So, musical instruments are expensive, and clarinets are no exception, at least the ones that are decent. But even more expensive than your regular, well, depending on where you live, but for most of you, regular bow and clarinets, French clarinets, even more expensive are usually German clarinets. Or are they? Do they have to be? Well, not necessarily, and this is what I will talk about in this video. Right here, in this very nice case, is a German system clarinet, an Uebel 621, I think, made in the 80s, and I paid less than €200 for this instrument, if I remember correctly. And then I also spent something like €50 or €60 on repairs. Basically only a few corks had to be replaced. But the main point of this is, what I want to say, you can get instruments in pretty good shape for not much, really. Sometimes you just get a good deal, and it would seem old German system clarinets, or even Uebel system clarinets, are no exception, and it's quite often to see them for sale, online or privately, depending on where you live. Now, when buying instruments online from eBay, for example, of course you've always got to be very careful. You can never really know what you are going to get, so shop at your own risk. It's always better if you can find an instrument locally, inspect it, try it out before you buy it. Now, without any further ado, let's just get this thing opened and show you what's inside. Let's place the case on my bed and open it up. The instrument is presented almost exactly as it was when I first bought it, only the mouthpiece is a different one. The barrel is very interesting, and I will talk more about it later on. Here is the top joint. And the lower joint, which is already connected to its bell, which is not uncommon on German instruments. I also attach the mouthpiece, and here is the instrument. Now let's also briefly talk about the condition of this used instrument. The wood seems nicely preserved with no cracks, and the keywork is very well made, very solid. It doesn't seem fragile. An interesting thing about the keywork is the left F key. I'm not sure, but I don't think these are standard on clarinets, on German clarinets. I think where my clarinet has the left F key, most clarinets have a left E flat key. So that is quite interesting, really. And some clarinets, I think, have both, so you've got two keys here in the middle. Now I want to briefly talk about the barrel, mouthpiece, and some other interesting things about this instrument. So, when I got this instrument, I noticed straight away that it came with a French system mouthpiece. Now, this is not it. This is my usual mouthpiece I use with my French clarinet, but it came with another French mouthpiece. And it was interesting because, if you don't know, in Germany, like when you use German system clarinets, they also have different mouthpieces and different reeds. And I remembered when I first saw it that I read somewhere it shouldn't fit because the sizes are different. The German mouthpiece is supposed to be slightly wider and longer, this part. But here we have a perfect fit of the French mouthpiece. And also the barrel seems unusually long for a German system clarinet, because most German clarinets have shorter barrels, and I believe they are longer in this part. So the top part of the top joint is longer and then the barrel is shorter, I think so. But yeah, here we have a barrel which I tried does not fit on a French system clarinet, yet it takes a French system mouthpiece. I thought it must still be better with a German mouthpiece, so I got a German mouthpiece. I ordered one, and it did not fit. Too wide, so I had to use a lot of force to get it in. And also, it looked something like this. There was a gap. So yeah, I realized it does not take a German mouthpiece. Then I started doing some research, and I didn't find anything useful online. Just several people claiming that German clarinet and French mouthpiece aren't compatible, nor vice versa. So I asked on Reddit, which was before I got permanently banned, before my IP got permanently banned from Reddit. Yeah, some other time about that. I asked on Reddit if anyone knows anything about this, and apparently there were several changes in barrel and mouthpiece dimensions in Germany in the second half of the 20th century, before they became standardized like they are today. So this is an instrument made in the 1980s in East Germany. And yeah, it apparently uses the French mouthpiece. Now, another interesting thing. Well, there is a B and S symbol right here. And it's interesting because B and S is a brass instrument manufacturer from East Germany. And I asked around a bit, and apparently during some period, Uebel used their, factories or something on some of their student models, and therefore they have their logo printed on. So yeah, it's really interesting. Another thing I wish to talk about is the serial number. On some Uebels, I believe on the older instrument, the first two letters of the serial number are the year of manufacture. With this instrument, it is not like that. Firstly, we have a model number, so 621, and then we have a 5/3 and something else. And this instrument was certainly not made in the 50s. It's way too well preserved. It also looks more modern, and I know for a fact that the B&S logo is only on certain instruments from the 80s. As I said earlier, I spoke with a few friends who also spoke with their friends, and this appears to be it. So yeah, it is interesting. Now let's get back to some more visual videos of this instrument. I believe I mentioned earlier that the instrument had to be repaired. It wasn't an extensive repair. I just had 2 corks replaced, and the pads will probably need replacement at some point too, because they are quite worn out, but they seal for now. So yeah, I just asked for a minimal repair, which were the corks. Only 2 corks, really. Now you're probably wondering what the instrument sounds like, and I will give you a demonstration of that very soon. First, I have to fix a reed-on, and there are 2 ways to do that. One is your usual way, with a ligature, and then there's the traditional German way, which uses a piece of string, a shoelace or something like that, to fix the reed-on, and I can quickly demonstrate this to you. First of all, I apologize because the sound won't be very good, as I've spent last 6 months almost exclusively playing the bass clarinet, but I will try my best to give you just a quick idea of what this instrument sounds like. Yeah, this short clip was all I'm really prepared to play right now. And yes, before I get a ton of comments, I do know it's meant to be played by a clarinet in A. But I just wanted to give you a quick demonstration. Now, what about the pitch of this instrument? I guess it is quite a common question. Now, a lot of people say German clarinets because of, I don't know, the shape of the bore or where the holes are or whatever. The German clarinets and Uebel clarinets, especially, are more in tune. Now, since this is a student instrument, I don't think it's really all that good, especially the A seems a bit out of tune. And yes, I am using the correct fingerings. I know on a German clarinet you only must press this key. Now, was this instrument worth buying? Absolutely. I think I got a really good deal. I mean, €200, which is a little over $200 for an instrument like this. I think it's quite a bargain, to be honest. Now, for those of you that aren't really familiar with German clarinets and differences between Bohm and German ones, I noticed there aren't really any videos on YouTube that go in depth about those differences, so I do plan on making such video. So I will compare this clarinet to a normal French clarinet. I will also explain Uebel system, German system and Uebel system differences, stuff like that. So if you're one of those people that don't know that yet, and perhaps want to learn about that, I will make this video. I don't know when yet, but I'll try to make it as soon as possible. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video.